Hey, and welcome back to the 8th episode of Bass Solo Vodcast. At least I think it's 8. Anyways, I'm back again after a short little break, a little bit too long than I expected, but here I am, and here we go. Today, gonna be talking about a little bit of that song I played right there. Then probably gonna talk about the next section of my training routine, which is involved, connected to this song in a way. Also a little bit of what's going on, what's happening right now, not too much. And we'll see if we get a nice podcast out of this. So, yeah, let's get going. The song I played right there, I found maybe like a month ago. Started jamming it out. It's I think it is a jazz standard. It is found in a real book, so I guess it is standard. It's by the vibraphonist Gary Burton and also the bassist Steve Swallow, who is obviously one of the greatest bass players of all time. And I think this song was made in somewhere in the late 70s for the Gary Burton quartet, I think. And the song is called Country Roads. So definitely not the country roads everybody knows. Yeah, really nice little blues, slow blues, funky type of a thing. That thing that I played as type of a theme for the beginning and end is like the bass part of the theme of that song. It has a melody, a really interesting kind of swimming and floaty type of a melody played on the vibraphone, but I couldn't play that while playing the bass line. And the bass line is very important to the melody, to the theme also. So I just decided I'm gonna play just the bass part. It is very almost interesting enough to be the only melody, but there is something on top of that. And then played a solo, because I've been working on that quite a while now. I did talk about this subject a couple of episodes ago, practicing soloing over changes that and not being accompanied by anyone. That's been really difficult to learn. It's a proper challenge. Even though as a bassist you usually play in your solos with only, well, at least not accompanied. So usually I should be able to keep to the changes. But I have noticed that not having the rhythm there for you, having to play all by yourself and not playing rhythmically in that, trying to hit the firsts and all the rhythmic things, just playing solos and melody ideas is really difficult without any accompaniment. And I sure that song right there, it did pick up on tempo at least a little bit there. I'm gonna have to listen to it back but later on, but it's not doing it perfect, but it's an interesting way, obviously very a very good way of working on these things, on your ear and on your ideas, and keeping it all together with your foot or something, with keeping the rhythm that you know when the bar is gonna change, and playing things and being aware of all that. Very interesting and very difficult. Maybe gonna be able to one of the reasons I haven't been posting videos got a little bit more social contact these past weeks, which was pretty cool. Meeting some friends and starting a new training music group. Just a trio playing jazz standards with a guitarist and a drummer. But it's really cool to get some live playing going on with real people, not just my backing tracks and all that. Really cool. And there we also started to play this song. I recommended it. Seemed like an interesting, a different kind of jazz standard to play. And it was really nice. It was last week, this week we played it for the first time on Wednesday. Went pretty well. Not gonna post here. Maybe next week I'm gonna post a video of the practicing session, at least maybe my solo, maybe the theme, maybe the whole thing. I don't know. They are obviously kind of long when three guys are playing solos, and depending on the song, this song has a pretty long theme and all that, so it can get pretty long. But anyways, a really nice song that you might want to learn if you're the bass line, well, obviously the bass line under the solos in the original version of this song, Country Roads, has pretty basic playing a lot of the time, just really solid, as Steve Swallow does it. But the theme, as you might have heard, is pretty interesting chordal bass stuffs going on. A lot of the like bluesy cliches happening all the time. And then these really fun stuff to be working on the bass, and playing this with like the bass playing that and only the melody gives a really nice contrast, like there was no harmony player in the mix. It's a really nice, the bass I think really works in its quirky way, in its a lot of it's that type of harmonies and things going on. So a really good song for, I think, almost any bass player. And I, well, almost played it. A lot of it, I played it like it was for 4-string. I did use the upper string a couple of times. But this song wouldn't be too difficult to play on a 4-string either. Well, maybe. There are interesting things going on, but not impossible. Maybe an octave higher. I don't know. But yeah, Country Roads record in F. I played in B flat, just because the real book is in B flat for some reason. I don't know. But I played in B flat. So, yeah. Yeah, and then talked about the song, talked about the new band thing. I hope I'll get some footage into this podcast, maybe next week, maybe week after that. See if there's some interesting things going on. With that, it's been really cool to play these jazz standards now with the band, with the 4-finger technique, really trying to work on that. But have been trying to be very conscious about the fact that what I want the walking sound to be like. I'm not throwing in too many like these chordal 6-string stuff there. I wanna keep it simple, just as a walking if there's a solo or even as if there's a theme. and there is themes on the other songs, obviously, a lot more known jazz standards. And I've been noticing that I a lot of the times go for just my thumb and the palm mute things going on. And it seems okay. I do enjoy it. It seems working. It's maybe kind of cliche for doing the double bass sound. And I'm gonna probably keep like investigating and trying out new things. It's a pretty open group right now, only for training, not too serious with like gigging or recording or anything. So I think I'll be doing a couple of silly tricks now and then, finding out if there's anything interesting. Because obviously one of the big things every time you do standards and walking standards is the fact that if you're how do you hear the double bass with your electric bass. I think it's a big thing to think about, and a lot of players do use like very different tactics when you think about it. It's a really interesting thing. Jaco went full on into that. Well, the Jaco thing, the really nasally sound they did obviously play a lot of funky stuff, but anyways, and what else? Steve Swallow has that pick thing, which is interesting, going really on the fingerboard and playing with the infamous, what is it, a copper coin or copper pick. Nowadays I have heard that a normal pick will suffice for the master. But really interesting different tactics. I don't know. Well, Anthony Jackson probably plays a lot with just his thumb palm muted. I think he really likes that sound, but then again he doesn't have a tone control. You could have some conspiracy theories if that matters or not when you are just fully open with your tone, and you gotta do something to fatten it up. So you might use your palm mute technique or something like that. Gonna be trying out things. I'll report on those, do a bigger episode later on, do a whole PowerPoint presentation on the subject, if anybody wants that. I think that's interesting, and it's very bass related, obviously. But we'll see. Gotta talk about what kind of relates to all of this. What I keep working on every time in my every day on my training things. I think the most important part of my training routine is connected to all of this, especially this jazz stuff, and it's really getting a boost with the whole getting to play with a band, some jazz standards and all of that. So last week I talked about how I start my day, which is always with scales, arpeggios, really theory type of stuff. And pretty much the next thing I do every day, at least for the next 2 hours until I might head to lunch, is a 2-hour session of just improvisation, jazz improvisation, mostly solo. Might do other things, but on my schedule it's a solo, 2 5-1s, and then 1 hour of 2-5-1s and different things on top of those, and then another hour doing songs. And I try to think about the whole training thing in a way that if I have something that really takes up my time from the day, I usually try to do the melody stuff, the solo stuff at least, and then cut from anything else. I think that the soloing is just really crucial right now. Not that I wanna be the greatest soloist on the bass. I'm not really, maybe not that, but just the amount of thinking and discovering and music I get to do, and it's pretty simple putting on that 2-5-1 or something backing track and then playing things on top of it. I might do a more bassline-esque rhythm thing, but then again it's all pretty much just soloing over changes, so I call it soloing. And I think it's just a really, really big important part right now of my training, to be just processing the music so much. I have so many scales I need to be learning, so many songs I need to be learning, so many ways I need to be able to use different scales and chords and ideas into different songs. So I think in a lot of ways that soloing is the biggest part that I need to work on right now. Not just to be a soloist, but to be a good musician in a lot of ways. That, and maybe how to hear music better, but that at another time. So yeah, 2 hours of those sessions. So every day I do a major and a minor 2-5-1 for an hour, and then the second hour is I have 2 basic jazz standards that I need to learn for my school, need to play in my final examination, which are a minor jazz blues in the style of Mr. PC, and then the rhythm changes, which is just, I think everyone can agree, or maybe not everyone. There's some pretty mad jazz cats out there, obviously, and they might have other ideas, but rhythm changes is just a really difficult chord progression to play over, especially when the speeds go up, because obviously there's a lot going on, at least for a simple bass man like myself. But now I haven't been playing those 2 songs that much. I've been playing this because got this new project going on, and a lot of new songs with that, like 6 jazz standards on top of that that I haven't really ever played properly before, I think. So I've been working on those for the past 2 weeks, mostly in this, just playing them through and thinking about them and trying to use my training schedule, soloing things on top of those songs, so I really understand the music, hear a lot of it, learn it, understand it, and then be able to use these things obviously in new songs. That's the whole point of learning music. Learning to play music is to do it more efficiently and stuff like that. So it doesn't bother me that I haven't been playing those exact 2 songs for a couple of weeks now, but I probably should get back to them. Like, obviously I want to be able to do like solo without accompaniment on the rhythm changes and feel pretty okay with it. That would be really awesome. Also probably not gonna happen, because goddamn, rhythm changes just murders me, absolutely murders me. I don't know if I hate it or love it. Maybe a year from now, when I play it in my final exam and get out of this school, maybe I'll never wanna play rhythm changes again. But then again, I'll probably have to, hopefully. But yeah. So yeah, I do 2 hours, and then I'm just looking at my schedule, thinking if there's any more parts to that. No, not right now. Improvisation obviously goes into a lot of other parts of music, and also my training, which is not music, just training, goes into a lot of other parts that I'll be using it more later on. But now it's just the 2 hours, which is, I think, a big slot from my day, where I try to do at least pretty much one of everything type of a deal. But yeah, I do really enjoy it. I would like to be able to play more solos over these solo arrangements of these standards, and I would really like to be able to play a solo for many of those to make actual music, actual kind of actual jazz music going on. Obviously solo, so it's not gonna be that jazz, but to be able to play these full versions of these songs, that would be really cool, or more than just country roads and stuff like that. But country roads ain't bad. There's a couple of interesting changes going on, and so I'm not saying anything bad about it. Just in a way, for I've been playing that in a sentimental mood. That's been really difficult to play solos over without accompaniment. Maybe because it's so slow, a real ballad. But yeah, to be able to play these whole songs would be cool. Maybe even play gigs all by myself with only the bass. That would be, I think, hilarious. I don't know if any coffee house would want that, but maybe in the future, who knows? Could be interesting. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Got interesting things going on, so I hope I'll have music from not this room, but from the group practice jazz session. I'll put some kind of a clip here, and that would probably be really cool. We're gonna be talking about the next part of my training thing, and got some interesting things coming up with. I'm doing a little bit of a mod on my Dingwall soon enough, as soon as the parts come in. Maybe I'm gonna kind of combine the Vodcast episode with like a proper YouTube video and try to do a before and after clips, combine them together and then talk about it in a vlogcast episode. Probably not gonna be next week, but maybe, who knows? If it's next week, I get the bass done early enough and get to really play it. Maybe I'll be able to do next week, but at least the parts should probably arrive next week. But you know, getting it modded and all that stuff is gonna probably take a while, and then to really be familiar with it again will probably be another thing. But anyways, yeah, that's this episode today. I hope you enjoyed, and this was the Bass Solo Vodcast, episode 8. I was the host, Severi Lehtimäki, solo host. Me here rambling about nothing again, and I'll see you guys next week.